invitation and then deploy in some of our critical infrastructure security. Now my next question is to Mr. Rohit Shukla. He is also from the Chief Security Officer, so IDBI, and he'll be talking to you on the physical and legal issues concerning that. So the question to you will be, manpower and major challenge for BFSI sector to manage banks and ATMs. Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll start my brief with a little prelude. You see, a banking security is only as strong as it is at its weakest link. So this is an adage. It has a lot of depth in its meaning. And we as security managers in particularly the banking industry, we are largely trained and responsible to identify this weakest link, because strengths will in any case protect us. But it is this weakest link which is going to give way and cause security breaches and all kinds of problems. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, there are basically 4 governing principles of physical security, as most of us are conversant with. Physical security is basically, the architecture is set up to deny access. If it is breached, then detect, then delay, and then respond. So on these 4 governing principles, the security as a whole, and particularly banking security, we lay emphasis on. Now, as you would all be aware that, you see, every industry has a product, and the product has a value. Now, that value of the product itself makes it very attractive for a potential offender, and it becomes a lucrative target for him or her. Now, inherently, the banking products are such which are essentially 2, because you are dealing in hard cash and you're dealing in valuables which are stored in lockers. And this cash also is in many modes. Cash is stored, cash is moving, and all these are essential processes for a banking operation, which has to be carried out at any cost. So the only answer is to upgrade and scale up your security systems to a level which provide adequate protection to your assets, whether it is static or moving. Without dwelling too much on this, you see, if you really see threadbare, it is basically, the crime is basically the cerebral prowess between the protector versus the offender. Both have very sharp brains, and one makes a solution, the other one wants to defeat it. So it's a continuous process. It keeps happening. Now, with this little background, I would go on to banking security, because as most of us know, we only know about the branches and the ATMs, which are the front faces to the normal public. But banks have various degrees of criticality of their assets. Now, this has to be initially done by a proper threat perception, and once you perceive threats, you list them out, and then you do a threat analysis of each threat as to how is it endangering your bank asset. Once you have done that, you draw out a security architecture for the entire bank, and that becomes your protection mechanism. Now, there are various challenges to banking industry, from the physical security as well as the logical security, which has been adequately covered by the eminent speakers prior to me. I shall basically dwell on physical security challenges to banks and financial institutions. You see, the cash is stored in a establishment called the currency chest. All banks have it. It is spread across the country. Now these currency chests are housing, they are of various categories. I won't dwell into that. They're Class A currency chest, Class B, Class C. Primarily they are holding a different amount of cash. 800 crores, 1000 crores, 1200 crores, and each currency chest is broadly servicing 32 bank branches for their cash requirements, day-to-day cash requirements. Now this cash has to move from the currency chest to the branch and vice versa, frequently, if not every day, at least once in 3 days or 4 days. That is the requirement of the banking industry. Now we need to protect this cash while it is stored and while it is in movement, which we refer to as CIT, cash in transit. Now for all these requirements, the backbone of physical security remains the human resource or the physical security guard and the supervisory security officers. Now, primarily in the recent times, as you would be aware, newspapers are flooded with incidents of burglary and thefts against ATMs. Now, ATMs are essentially, I'll dwell on the ATMs because this is a major security challenge. We can quote incidents, there are so many incidents, but what we need now is viable and practicable solutions. As you know, ATMs are broadly classified into two parts. One is a branch ATM, so an ATM which is at the branch is relatively got less threat because it is manned throughout the day, there are employees, there are customers, somebody is watching the ATM. The primary problem is with an off-site ATM. You know, for business interests and for convenience to customers, there are off-site ATMs which are away from the branch, and they are beyond the visual surveillance of any branch employee or branch staff. Now, and you would see that most crimes or offenses against ATMs in the recent past have been against off-site ATMs. Many of them in Bangalore, particularly, there was a trend. The Bangalore police tracked it. They found the trend. They got to the root, and they found an effective solution to that. Now, off-site ATMs, it has been debated over a long period of time whether we need security guards there at all or we don't need at all. Only electronic systems will take care of it. But I'm afraid, I'm of the firm view that it has to be a combination of a physical guarding combined with, I would say, augmented with electronic security. So only for want of time, I shall be very concise. Now for guarding, you need quality manpower. Banks essentially have only security staff which is the either regular employee, so that trend is being discouraged now because there are a lot of encumbrances with regular employees. So largely the Indian banking industry is dependent on private security guards, and I am sorry to say that even till today, the security business is still in the unorganized sector. It has varying and conflicting statutory compliances between state governments and central governments, and it is extremely difficult. It may appear as a very folk security guard standing, but you would be amazed the amount of statutory compliances which go behind deploying that security guard is enormous, and it is actually wasting time and energy of various security setups to go in for that. I won't dwell into the details of that as we are tight for time. The second problem is training of these guards. This is a gray area which requires, there are a lot of acts, there are a lot of statutes, but it is not being implemented satisfactorily. These guards are not trained. You find security guards are what? They are unemployed youth from some villages, brought in by unscrupulous security companies. They make them wear a uniform and say this is the guard, and they are only interested in their billing, monthly billing. So that needs to be taken care of. There has to be documented training so that he knows, and beyond that, he has to be trained in fire aspects and electronic security, so on and so forth. So now, ATM, we are doing a pilot project. I must mention this. To take care of these off-site ATMs, because we found out that a physical guard, I'll tell you why it is required. Most of the offenses are committed by two fellows on a bike, both wearing helmets. Now helmets they essentially wear because, you see, the ATMs are essentially produced by Diebold and NCR. They are the principal manufacturers of ATMs. They have cameras, but if you're wearing a helmet, a camera cannot identify your face. And you do the crime by wearing the helmet. Now there is no electronic system which can ensure that the helmet is removed. It has to be that physical guard, the guard standing there who has to do this job. So similarly, there are other aspects which a physical security resource has to carry out. Now the second aspect about the challenges for physical security is the branches. Branches are generally well taken care of. But there are certain anomalies where snatching of cash is a very, very common thing, especially from ladies. You see, while the customer is in the branch, it is the responsibility of the bank to ensure, and the bank guard is there, a bank gunman is there. But what happens, the customer invariably parks her or his vehicle near the branch and then walks up. So it is somewhere when this customer reaches the vehicle, there are organized gangs or groups of 3-4 boys who are waiting to snatch away that bag because they know the customer wouldn't have gone to a bank for nothing else. It would have been for a cash dealing. So now this parking lot is not under the, technically it is not under the assets of the bank. It is an open area. But at the same time, we still need to protect our customer till it is safely moved away from the bank location. So now without dwelling too much, these are the main major challenges I have dwelt upon. There are quite a few which are minor challenges which we are continuously working towards finding, as they say, complete security solutions. You know, your complete security solutions need to address the problem and remove it from the root. Piecemeal solutions really don't work. It has to be a well-oiled machine and should lead towards complete security solutions. Now, again, I would say because of constraints of time, I would have given more insight into things. I'll close my discussion here.